Okay, students. So this week we're going to check out what is dependent events with probability. So what happens when each event depend on each other? So if the first one happens, then the second one depends on the first one happening. So that's pretty much what it is. So independent events, the outcome of one event affects the outcome of the other event. The probability of two dependent events is found by multiplying. So you're again multiplying, but there's only one minor thing that's going to be changing. The probability of the first event by the probability of the second event after the first event has already occurred. So you're going to hear a lot this, not replaced. Okay, so let's read this. So it says, there are 3 green markers, 6 yellow markers, 4 red markers, and 12 blue markers in a pencil box. A marker is drawn, not replaced. So it's like taking a thing of you just take the pencil and you don't replace it. You don't put it back. That's what it means. Then another marker is drawn. So the total changes, right? So first, if there were 25, now there are 24 because you're not replacing, you're not putting back those pencils. That's what dependent events is pretty much about. Find each probability. So let's find. So first we're going to add the total. We need a total, right? So that's 3 plus 6 plus 4 plus 12. That's going to be 25. So that's my denominator, remember. Okay. And then what is the probability of getting a red when you first draw one, take one from the pencil box? Well, how many reds are there? There are 4 reds. So that's 4 out of 25, which is the total. Now, what's the probability of then getting a blue? How many blues are there? There are 12. But now it changed, the total changes because you didn't put back the red pencil. So it changes to -1, which is 24. And then that total, the probability of getting a blue out of those 24 now is 12. 12 out of 24. So now we do the same process here where we multiply fractions or ratios. You multiply across. So that's 4 times 12, that's 48. And then 25 times 24, that's 600. And then you simplify the fraction. So the way I simplify the fractions, basically, I look for factors between them. I notice that if this one divides by 24, which is half of this one, so divided by 24 each on each side. So remember, you have to look for the same factor, right? So 48 divided by 24, that's 2. And then 600 divided by 24, that's 25. Okay, so that's how you simplify it. So this is the answer. That's the probability. All right, let's get this one. So what's the probability of getting a yellow, then getting a green? All right, so after this one, you put everything back, right? And then we're like, all right, so the total is 25 again, right? And then what's the probability of getting a yellow? Well, the 6 out of 25. And then what is the probability of then getting a green? Well, let's see. Now there's 24, right? Because it's not replaced. And then getting a green is 3. And then same way, you multiply across, which is 18 over, again, 600. So if you divide by 6, right, you get 3 over 100. That's your answer right there. So basically just try to simplify your simplest form when you get to the final ratio to your answer, okay? All right, so what is the probability of getting both blue? But you're not replacing them. So the first blue, well, how many blues are there? There are 12 out of 25, right? And then, but the second blue, you're not replacing that other blue. So you really have less blue. You have -1 blue. So that's 11 over 24. So in this case, it was a little different because you're actually using the same color and you're not replacing it. So you multiply across, that's 132 over 600 again. And then you divide by, let's see, maybe by 12. Yeah, by 12. All right. So 132 divided by 12 is 11. And then 600 divided by 12 is 50. And that's your answer right here. That's the simplest form. All right. So what is the probability of both getting yellow both times? So this looks like this one. So let's do that. So how many yellows are there? There's 6. So that's 6 over 25. And then if you don't replace it, then you have one less, which is 5 over 24. And then you multiply across. That's 30 over 600. And then it's 1 over 20, right? Because you divide by 30. All right, and that's the answer right there. Okay. All right, so that's pretty much what we're doing with dependent events. Multiplying, but then remembering that this is a big factor here, that we're not replacing it. So the total ends up to be one less in every situation, right? These two were really interesting, how you really have to be careful with that. All right, I hope this helps.